Hi everyone, I'm Max from the Max team, and I am with Rane. Rane from TDF. How are you?
How you doing, Max? I hope everyone is doing great. We're about to start a new edition, a new broadcast in this Max League, and I'm once again happy to see some Latin American players on screen today.
Yeah, we have very great matches in this round three of this Max League 6, starting with Fred from Brazil versus wiRer from Luxembourg, and then we have Pascoa from Brazil as well versus Athanas from Greece. You may hear me not sounding as usual because I have an issue with my other microphone and we're a little later because of that. But it's not big deal. It's no big deal, and we are going to check the first lineups, starting with nothing. First of all, we have to check the group. The group D for the first match is the group with leaded by Mighty just right now and Regvam. Regvam hasn't played is round three for now. Is playing versus Drevo, and Mighty just lost to Bruto 3-0. So maybe something can be done here for wiRer is now at 1-1 in this Group D, and Fled has to win as well because it's already at 0-2, and you don't want to be at 0-3 because you won't be able to qualify for the playoffs.
Yeah, the fact that you mentioned about Mighty losing his perfect score means a lot for the players that come below, because this makes it a bit more even, an even ground. No, like the packet's still holding together, so like every win counts. And if Fled nails a good result today, and then next round he can also win, he will be starting in a 2-2 with chances of qualifying for the next round.
And I just have a message from Drevo saying I won 3-2 the match versus Regvam just right now.
So it intensifies. Like, there are no perfect scores. Mighty and Regbam are 2-1 with a short lead. Drabu is also 2-1. And then we have wiRer, who wants to join that pack, who wants to be on the top of the table. And it will be like, this will go down to the wire, because with 4 players 2-1 and some others that might join, this will be a hard group to qualify.
Yeah, yeah. It's sometimes you have groups like this in Max League 6 with every players very close to the others, and sometimes you have just some stumps. But this one will be very hard, and we are
Yeah.
very glad to have this match versus Warrior and Fled tonight.
Yeah, and also the quality of the players. Mighty is a World Cup. Mighty will play in the World Cup, so we're
Yeah,
having quite a good level. Fled, also, it's a former Grandmaster. wiRer has won the DreamHack
yeah.
tournament on last year, and he has been competitive on the official circuit as well. So we have a lot of players that we will be watching, and they are bringing lineups that they are still comfortable with. I understand, because
Mm.
we had like a patch warning last week. Are we gonna have Max League this week or not? Is the patch coming on Tuesday? Is it coming on Thursday? Is it coming next week? Maybe we don't have any information right now.
Yeah,
Patch
you're
notes
right.
are not out yet, but the expectations are that patch will be coming to either tomorrow or next Tuesday, so these players didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, and we can now check the Flitz lineup, bringing a druid, a mage, a priest, and a rogue. Priest and rogue, and is this priest that has been banned? Is quest priest, I guess? Yeah.
Yep.
And so the mage and the rogue and the druid, the the best decks in this meta right now are left playable by wiRer.
Yes, I think that the problem with it has a bit to do with last year's standing because despite their druid is like the best deck out there probably and mage it's kind of like the same, they are kind of counterable because druid has a weak spot on the early game. And you'll see that on the other side, well, there are counters to that. So that's the magic of last year's standing, which
Mm.
you might end up leaving a good deck open just because you have a tier 2 or tier 3 deck that goes exactly as an antidote to that or as a poison to that deck that is oppressing the meta. And since you don't need to win with every deck you bring, you just
Mm.
need to win 3 times. It's not a high risk to bring a specific target to some popular decks.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, as we are a little late, we are going to jump right now to the other lineup. The lineup brought by wiRer, and it's a weak priest. It hasn't been banned. The rogue druid banned this time, and implock. Very interesting list here.
Yeah, and more on the aggressive side we can see because like despite the weak priest is kind of half the miracle side, the miracle priest with not that many nagas but a lot
Mhm.
more consistency on creating a huge minion with a boom and power of fortitude. That is also a nightmare for druids. Implug is also a nightmare for druid. They even sometimes go kind of well against rogue also. So I am guessing like a counter lineup brought by this time by
wiRer.
or Fled will be facing the counter lineup that he
Mm.
often brings himself. And I understand the priest ban because I think priest is the most controlly deck that
Will
Fled could
the
have or Fled
appearance
could bring.
taken?
So take that out of the way and maybe your aggro decks will be doing better.
Yeah, I like it as well. And we're about to give the players the go they deserve to start this first BO. Okay, thank you. Okay, we have Fled, not naming Fled, but it's okay. It's okay. You can start. Good luck. It will be at the top of the
Remember,
screen.
yeah, exactly. I want to just say that. Remember, if you're on chat and you want to be cheering for the players, you can use exclamation mark top to cheer for Fled, or you can use exclamation mark bottom to cheer for wiRer. Max promised me he would be setting up left and right commands to cheer for casters. I'm not sure if that's implemented right now, but
No, not yet,
maybe
but
for
I am about to.
future.
I am about to. I have to. It was in the
Just
past.
kidding.
It
Just
will
kidding
be.
because last broadcast Monsanto was casting, and I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the hat guy, so I was just messing with people. But well, we're on the edge of starting this best of 5 series. Remember, as a Max League usual, we're playing last year standing. This means that if you lose with a deck, you cannot use it any longer. If you win with a deck, you need to continue. You cannot opt out of playing that and like you do in Conquest, which you have some more maneuverability. In last year standing, the only way to change your deck is by losing with it. So
Yeah.
maybe not the best strategy to take.
You're right. And we're starting with Rexa. For writers, it means rogue versus paladin, and it means rogue as well for his opponent.
I like this. I like Lexia standing allows like high roller decks to like perform a bit better or to shine. And I like that both players started with rogue. First of all, because it's like since they're both thieves rogues, you can kind of like get the advantage of disguising of one of the other classes. If you do that by the end of the series, that's like you won't be deceiving anyone. But on the other side, you can also just do a quick sweep 3-0 with the rogue, and maybe no one could stop you. You know, rogue does that sometimes.
Yeah, you're right. And we'll see which player will manage to get his big minion on board first. And we see that we have a huge end now for wiRer with all these 0 mana cards and Edwin as well. So maybe we'll have Edwin into coin, into something playable, into preparation. We'll see. And not that bad that well for Fred with the Gnoll.
I agree with what you said. Who's gonna put the pressure first? And I like this Null for Fled on board, especially because it's on stealth mode. Because sometimes you don't want to leave minions on board because it enables some of your opponent cards like backstabs or even the bones that will discount the next card, and that allows like for a better Draka, for a better location. With the Njol being in stealth, it's not just that much of a risk. And on the other side, you need to start piling up pressure, especially with Fled's hand that has become like incredibly better with that Bancleave top deck.
Yeah, but okay, you have the backstab playable, but only 1 mana left. But preparation can help. We'll see
Yes,
what.
I think Fled had in mind like shadow stepping the Van Cleef like right away, but once he saw a playable card, they say, okay, let's wait for a second and check what happens. He is fishing for some other answer. Preparation is a good one, but once again, like the health Van Cleef will be ending up with is not good enough to make a stand, and he needs more card draw for next turn. So no. I guess that is the reason he shadow step it back.
Oh, this one is very good. Here you can. You don't like this one? You could prepare it.
Yes, I think it's the way you play it is like you go with extortion, and oh no, you had to the black colored glass.
Yeah, preparation into.
Oh, he's playing it. He's playing out of the without the discount. I'm not sure about this because if you invested 1 more mana with a black carded class, Blackwater carded class, you'll be able to activate the effect, and the next card you play will cost 2 less. So maybe like considering the cards Warrior has in hand, it doesn't even matter. But it was an option that he could have taken, and he draws the shadow step. But do you want a shadow step at 9/6 into your hand? Well, I didn't even finish asking the question, and we already have an answer.
Oh, okay,
whoa,
okay,
it's
back.
He managed to buff. Yeah, Bancleave in hand, keep on buffing him, and play it as a 7/7.
Oh, and the Gnoll for 0.
Oh,
then.
The top deck.
Perfect, and you'll be glad to know that the comments exclamation mark left and exclamation mark right are now on, and I am the left and Rane is the right.
So let's see. Fled needs to get rid of this Bancleave. He needs to start playing top cards from the top of his deck, and he's kind of in a good spot because he still has 3 mana left and a preparation, which it's like 5. So I guess that is a huge draw. You can prep the Wicked Stab and then use the Serrated Bones to kill Bancleave, or well, maybe not kill Bancleave. No, the location. Well, this is just game winning.
It's interesting.
This is just game winning.
A
1919, he doesn't even mind leaving Bancleave alive on board.
Yeah, right. It's a huge board for turn 5, I can say. So, is it a way to have lethal here for wiRer? You have the Sinister Strike, Cutlass, Wicked
I mean,
Stab.
he needs to do 17 damage.
Yeah, with only... Oh,
Oh well, this is
okay.
a good out. The cards in your hand
Like it.
don't work. Well, just go and try to invent something else. Well, I didn't get to see the discover, but what I
No.
saw, it was not a freeze effect. It was nothing. It was not a solid alibi that he could bank on. And this game goes to Fled 1-0 with an impressive Van Cleef turn. The setup with the Shadow Step, and then like infinite mana for infinite stats. Just well,
Yeah, you're right, you're right.
everything that a rogue player likes, right?
Yes, it was very, very quick and impressive. And if you like Rogue, then as you said, Fled will be playing this class again because of the LHS format. And wiRer maybe will use what do you think is Impluk to be more aggressive?
Maybe Boon Priest. I think that the Priest is a bit better in this situation because it has the capability of creating huge towns, and that might help even things up. I think that the Soup Priest can be a bit better against Druid later on. So I guess a priest in this case is granted. And look at this, warrior with double wig in hand.
Yeah.
That is a good starting hand. Just you need just a couple of minions, and popping off is just around the corner.
We want to Naga here. As I say, it's wiRer and me because he's from the Max team.
Exactly.
Go,
That's
wiRer, go,
true.
go!
We forgot to mention that important piece of information. Water is part of the Max league, the Max team, and well, he's
And
kind of like playing at home right now.
yeah, yeah, but will it be enough? We already have a gnoll here for Fled. Fled acting as a priest right now. We see you. You're not a priest. And I saw on Twitter earlier that some of you, meaning you, Rane, want to delete priest. You don't want to delete priest. I am a huge fan.
I wouldn't mind. I know that there's some players that like priest, but I wouldn't mind if we get back to 9 classes or we sacrifice priest for having I don't know.
We're already at 9 class. Why?
Well, yeah, that is kind of true. We don't have paladin, we don't have warrior. We have less than 9 classes actually.
Warrior has been deleted and shaman maybe as well. But maybe tomorrow they are back. But I'm not sure that that warrior can do something in Dinatheos meta.
Yeah, that is a good point because it's just not enough. It needs a win condition. It's just stalling to where? What's its win condition and it's not even able to scam games like it did with the From the Depths. So Warrior futures grim, and I don't mind. I mean, let's see what happens. Talking about what happens, time for wiRer to start reacting.
Yeah, first
Drawing
Naga.
a bit cards, but he's pretty behind on tempo. This needs to change because the priest deck can do some miracles, but if it's too far behind, those won't be enough.
I like
draw, which is impressive, huh? Time to go?
Yeah, I guess it did, but there is a bug. Do you see the cards walking here?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a bug. Yeah.
wiRer is just playing the full combo. He went for the Radiant Elemental with then the Priestess Valish to have some extra mana. Creating right now is like 1916. He will go up to 20 health, and then he will play Boon of the Ascendant. This is what I was talking about, Priest going Miracle. This is something that it's super hard to deal with on the rogue side, so not sure if this will be enough. Draka is in hand, Van Cleef is in hand, but how do you make it work?
I'm back.
Like
I'm back
over
now.
30,
Yeah, go.
30 health over there.
Yeah, you're right. I'm back in the game, and maybe with the next release, the spectator mode will be effective.
Don't put your hopes too
Maybe.
high, Max. Don't put them too high. Well, if you got to catch what was the board state before the flat surrender, you understand why I was saying this might be a good matchup for the Priest.
Yeah. Yeah, it drove the elemental radiant the right time perfectly.
Valish, and it just popped off with the two wigs with the boon. It had like also infinite. It was like the rogue turn that Fled did last game. It was this time. It was like, but on the other side, it was just infinite mana, infinite stats, overwhelming pressure, just concede on the other side.
And maybe the priest will be quick enough to counter the druid and the mage. Maybe, but the mage is freezing.
Yeah, exactly. The druid, the against the druid, the priest might have, well, like if it recreates a turn like wiRer did last game, it'll be just game over. That doesn't matter how much mana you have. It's just game over. You have like too many stats for druid to deal with. But on the other side, for mage, you said it. It's just freezing and freezing and freezing until, I don't know, your laptop battery dies or your internet connection goes down. My mages can do that.
Yes, I'm very surprised to see this card in Fled's druid. It's Kazakhstan. It's been a while.
Yeah, that is true.
And he's playing the other thing like Theota, like Bran, Kaltas, and Denatrius, but there is as well a Kazakhstan. Why not?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like, I don't want to say Fled's trademark, but Fled usually goes like on the greedier side of decks, and it's understandable that you put Kazakhstan on a druid list that goes extra large, that has some dragons to put. If you're facing, not sure, a super slow deck, it might be useful. On the mirror might be useful. So I don't blame him.
Okay. Radiant Elemental number 1. And Valish and Double Wig. And Fortitude and Boon of the Ascended. But Theota is here.
Boon of the Ascended. What do you take from wiRer? The Radiant Elemental, Boon of the Ascended, they're both pretty key cards for the priest to work.
Oh, and what do you give him?
That is true also. Like,
I guess you don't have natural spells.
It's at least like expensive, but allows wiRer to ramp, which is something you don't want to see on the other side. But at least you can control that, right? You know what's you know what your opponent has. You know that the chances of just doing a miracle have gone to half with the stealing of the Radiant Elemental. So I guess Fled feels comfortable at this stage, and yeah, of course, trading, never leave a minion alive.
And it chose to steal this Radiant Elemental over the Boon of the Ascended. Not sure about that. Not sure.
In a sense, like in a way, it makes sense because like you're playing Boon of the Ascendant after playing like 20 spells. So if you deny your opponent playing 20 spells because they don't have enough mana or they don't have minions to play them on, well, the Boon of the Ascendant is just a dead card for your opponent. And on the other side, the Radiant Elemental might be useful on Fled's side. So I think it's a win-win for Fled, taking the Radiant Elemental over the Boon of the Ascendant. It capitalized on one of the priest's weaknesses, and which is not having enough mana to do what it wants to. And well, in this case, where it was able to top like the second copy, but it was not an easy call to do, and I think it was the correct call to go for the Radiant Elemental at that stage.
And we have the first book, One of the Ascendant here. Okay, and it has been created, I guess, by Moonlight Guidance.
Exactly, by Moonlight Guidance. That's why he has a third copy now, like 2 on hand plus the one he played. And it's time for Fled to just try and get rid of that. Scales of Onyxia are good, but not good enough for this turn. Deal 2 damage, deal 1 damage. Best in Shell will be costing like 3, so it's playable card.
No. Good. You know, your opponent...
It buys you some time.
Yeah, your opponent is running a silence, but you have to do
yeah.
You have to do this.
One thing I'm not sure about is like not trading, because if you don't trade your minions off the board, you give your opponent the chance of using the Shadow or
the
Devour.
Yeah, you're right.
Might be like a nightmare once again, because you know he has a second Boon of the Ascendant in hand. But well, what can Fled do when he's so far behind? Look at this. Look at this board.
Yeah. And he stole 1 Radiant Elemental.
Yeah, and that is true. And if you like, Fled might be asking himself, should I have stolen the Boon?
Yeah, well, maybe.
It didn't even made a difference actually, because it was at the end of the day it was the 2 copies of each card. But well, with that positioning, wiRer exposed himself a bit to the insatiable Devourer that ended up the game just right on the spot.
Impressive back from from Fred here. And the priest is gone.
The druid and this is a tough spot because it's match point against yourself, and you don't have quite a margin. I think the pick is the Imp Warlock, but druid sometimes scams you out of any games like this one, and you don't want to be playing your decisive match in under these circumstances.
Yeah, I'm informing the next player that it's already 2-1 in the first game, and they have to prepare themselves.
That is true, because this is kind of like a fast pace for Hearthstone games. We haven't seen like turn 8 in 3 games. Like, Rogue Mirror ended up like turn 5, then the Priest against Rogues the same. This, I think it got like to turn 6 with both players ramping a Mana Crystal or 2. But these are fast games. We have we're like what, 15-20 minutes into the broadcast.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting to be 2-1 at this stage.
And Fred is not worried about that, because he has to go after the games. He doesn't want to be late for something. And this Implok is running Gigafin, Dinatrius, Kael'thas, as you saw, and the other cards are more aggressive way.
So once again, Theodore on Fled's hands, which is a less impactful card in this scenario. Maybe you can steal library allocation, or the imp that copies himself. Rafam could also be a target, but it's not like wiRer is playing in a tempo aggressive deck, and like most of the cards are not just are just disposable.
Yeah. And if maybe Flade is making it and winning versus wiRer, there will be still enemies in this group D because they will both of them be at 1-2 and still able to qualify for the next stage with a 3-2 with that in next next
Yeah,
turns, next weeks, next rounds.
important to not let this chance slip away.
Yeah.
wiRer goes full offensive mode, and Flynn has two options here, like value trade two imps with the amalgam and the hero power on, or using the scales. I think you want to use the scales for like surviving. You cannot, if you start using them right now, it's you won't be ending in a good spot the game. But on the other side, are you ending the game? You see, we're seeing more imps. You're seeing the buy library right now, and this is kind of tough for the Brazilian player to deal with.
And we have already this shady bartender in wiRer's end, and it could
That
be
is true.
very quick, baby. We'll see. But do you play Theota on this spot on 4 as your solo?
What else can you do is the question. You
Yeah,
cannot
you're
do
right.
anything else.
You're right.
You have only one green card in your hand. I mean,
I
you
guess.
take away. What he took the
Ooh.
the boiler? No, I think it was the
I
bartender.
was
Not
thinking.
his.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
he preferred to have the taunt. Okay.
yeah. The thing is, like, you can play the boiler next turn, and your opponent cannot play the bartender next turn. So if the game reaches like a point in which wiRer can play the bartender, he's already winning. So I think the bartender was not the card that Fled wanted on that under that premise.
Mm-hmm.
And still, I'm
I,
not seeing Fled scamming. Maybe he was thinking or dreaming about like the Nathrius plus Void Walker plus something that could clear the board, but
no.
it's time.
Oh.
It's time
Yeah.
for Gov
Okay.
to die.
It's
I mean, it's
18
18 with a
with a taunt.
taunt in the way.
Yeah, you have to play it.
Wait, is
Oh,
this is
it,
enough?
it,
I think.
it wants to keep
Oh,
it
this
for the Iskaltas.
for Countess, but he knows that there's a bartender there. That's +4/+4 to a table. So we're talking for like 9, 13 plus 2 imps 15. So it's 2 damage off.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same for you, but Dinatheus is hiding now in Fred's end thanks to the spectator mode. We don't
Oh no,
see the card. You see it?
I say it correctly, but
Oh, not now, not here. Yeah,
let's
it's behind the other cards. Okay, now we see him.
and it's Kyle test and trying to survive, but the problem is like this: is like you need to play the Nathrius, and well, this amazingly it killed one of the minions, and this allows Fled to be alive. Because if not, if the 3/3 will end up being a 3/1, if wiRer would
No.
be able to trade that Void Walker, then he could ship like 11 damage phase. This is not the case. Fled found an out in a super unfavorable matchup, and now it's time for wiRer to see what he does, because you have a 10-10 with life steal in front. That just shatters away all your chances of rushing your enemy.
Yeah, you could Kaltas into Molecular. Oh, this one is not that bad. But for next turn and your opponent will... Oh, I was assuming keeping this for the Kaltas. Why not?
Yes, I think that there were like kind of like two lines of play. Uh, going going full mode here, like full tempo with Kaltas, but you didn't have any payoff card. Like top tier was just a 5/5. Doing this play, you saw an extra card, and now you have also like the Flame Imp for next turn, playing like Kaltas, Flame Imp, and Gigafin
Hmm.
all in the same turn. I think that is wiRer's perspective on how to deal with the 10-10 and like all Fled's board. I think that's an out to win, but this means the game will go long, and if it goes long, it's favoring Fled, right?
Yeah, you're right. And why choose to not trade these Keltas? I guess it's the right thing. Even
Well, you know
oh,
that your opponent doesn't have that many cheap minions to cheat
mm,
expensive ones. So on that side, I don't blame him. So it's trying to maximize the health, but on the other side, look at this: 25 life points between health and armor. This is a turning point, or at least wiRer expects it to be. But on the other side, Fled just has the answer to this.
yeah,
He could just go and say Shovel Devourer. The question is, if the pressure is enough, it's 23 attack, 20 life. You're like it'll end up being 16, and you'll be 4 off. Oh no, this is completely infused. This is
yeah.
just gain.
Maybe with Keltas involved in this deck list, I mean the Warlock, you may add the charge minion, the pirate one, and it's already 3-1 for Fred here. 3-1.
He needed to be somewhere else. Let's do this quick. He won 3 games with with a lightning speed. It was what 6 turns, 7 turns, 8 turns. This one, which was the longer one.
Yeah.
It was a series meant to be fast because wiRer brought an aggressive lineup, but still it was impressive how we were able to see so many power spikes on each game.
Yeah, I'm about to add the players here for a little interview with us. Okay, wiRer said okay. I don't have the reply from Fred, but I'm adding him as well. And we'll see. We'll see in a few seconds. Hi, wiRer.
Hello.
Do you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Yeah,
Yes,
perfectly.
loud and clear.
Good.
Well, maybe I've fled, but not sure. Okay, it's not here, but it's no big deal. So, here we are. Where you managed to have a very good starting end with the rogue in the first match, and your opponent just replied with a huger board with this powerful Edwin. What do you think about the whole series? I have my own feeling, but I would have yours, maybe.
About the whole series, I'm. It kind of went the way I expected it to go. My lineup didn't match up too well against Flat's lineup.
Mm.
I think it even went better than expected. But yeah, I mean, in the end, it didn't get there.
Okay.
Yes, you had some decks to check or at least to pressure Fled's lineup. The priest is kind of like I don't want to say good matchup, but decent against rogue, especially when when you're able to do those miracles like you did. Then most cases the imp warlock, despite being nerfed, can present a good matchup against druid. Do you feel like Fled and this last game had just the nuts for like having exactly every answer to every board?
I mean, he stole a 1-drop from me so that he could go Keltas plus Denathrius. I don't play around that in a 40 card deck.
No.
I could have pushed face the turn before that, and it would have been better against his play. But in general, my line was better, so it is what it is. You can't play around everything, right?
Yeah.
I agree more so against, as you said, a 40 card deck.
Yeah, and then I had to come back with Gigafin, but he had the Devourer, so nothing I can do in that spot.
Twice the Devourer just bought him the game versus the Priest as well.
Yeah,
and it was a pity because you were very ahead on board.
Yeah, I have all-in decks. I go all-in, and if my opponent doesn't have the answer, then I win. If my opponent has the answer, I lose, and he had the answer. So that's the nature of these decks I was playing.
Right.
I think maybe the biggest thing was in the first game, Rogue versus Rogue, that I bricked with my Edwin. I don't know, the second spell I drew was the Extortion, which was the worst draw in my entire deck. And if I drew a normal spell there, I would have just made I don't know, 15-15 Edwin or something, and the game would have been over right there.
Okay.
I completely agree, and I think that on those matchups which you don't have time to do a great setup, it's our temporary matchups. You just need to go all in and just pray for the best. I like the lines you took, and I like how you were able to pull them. Like the priest, both priest games were pretty impressive. The difference was that Flint had a feeling infused insatiable devour in the second one, but besides that, it was a nice play. And I don't want to ask much about lineups because supposedly things will just change tomorrow or soon or soon. But did you feel comfortable with bringing your lineup to last year's standing this week? Do you have any comments on what you would like to see after the next patch?
About Shaman.
So first of all, I didn't have anything to do with my lineup. Fury gave it to me, and he said I should play it. I had 0 games on any of the decks. I didn't play it at all. Because I have
always
been playing...
listen to Fury, though.
Apparently not, though. But yeah, I was playing Battlegrounds since the patch. I really enjoyed that, so I'm also not one of the people that are complaining about the constructed metagame, because I'm simply not playing the constructed metagame, right? I will play it when the new patch is out. And until then, it's a break for me, and I mean, changes are good, right? So honestly, I don't expect too much from the balance patch. I think the metagame really will change after the mini set comes out. I don't know when that is, but hopefully soon.
Okay.
I'll send you a DM with all the details on when the mini set goes out and all the cards that are coming. Don't worry. I'll let you know after the broadcast.
Nice. Thanks. I appreciate that, and I will not further.
Yeah, please don't tell anyone. Just keep it in between you and me. Max already knows, but he's a gentleman. He won't say.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Thank you, wiRer, for the games. Now you want to ask Fled, and it's not over. You can make it at 3-2. It's still possible. And if you want to, sorry.
What needs to happen for that to be the case?
It needs a miracle, I guess. But
I guess if Driver wins against Rekvan, that's pretty good because
and he won 3-2.
Yep. There's no unbeaten players on the group. Mighty also lost, so you're just one win away from the first place in the group.
Yeah, that's it.
I guess I just got to win next week and then hope for the best.
Please don't ask Fury Enter for the lineup.
Yeah.
Don't ask Mitty as well, please.
Oh, I would never ask Mitty for a lineup. Come
on. We know better than that, right?
He's playing Warrior lately. So
Yeah, that says it all, right? Warrior and shaman.
okay,
All
thank
right,
you.
guys. Have a nice evening. Have a nice cast, and I'll talk to you maybe next week or the week after that. See ya.
Yeah, yeah, we'll cast
Thank-
together on Monday. See
Oh
you.
yeah, true. So for the viewers, see you on Monday. Bye.
Yeah, see
Bye.
you. Okay, so this first BO is over. It was very kind to wiRer to was here in this for this interview after this, we can tell it, this stomp. And it was not mad about how the things
Yeah.
went, but I would have
I
been, I
like
guess.
his mood. It was super
Yeah.
positive. Because I've been enjoying Battlegrounds. I didn't jam a game under this lineup. Just Fury gave me, and it's just Fury's fault then, I guess. So I kind of like love when players are positive even after losing, and they understand that this is a game, and they also send a good message to the community. It's like Hearthstone has a incredible thing that if you're bored about one mode of the game, you have like 10 others. Like even you have mercenaries. Imagine how many modes you have over there. So it's good not to be stressed about a metagame if you don't like it. Just jump some BGs, go to duels, try, I don't know, the weekly tavern brawl, which is new and has some cool skins you can check. So that is something that I like about Hearthstone.
Yeah, you're right. You have many possibilities when you launch the game. Then you can go to the arena, to duels, to battlegrounds if you want to spend your life in it. I don't like battlegrounds. I don't like it. At least you don't
Well,
know how to spell it. So
well, that's a nightmare for me. I can just not write. I every time I just finish writing an article, like the thing is like at least I have a positive side. I always misspell it the same way. I just cannot order the words correctly, so I just Control F look for like the all the times I misspell battlegrounds because I know how I usually misspell it, and I just correct them and just go on with my life. But yeah, it's in Spanish. We just say it. We even say it in Spanish, and like battlegrounds,
yeah.
which is so much shorter, and that's kind of like why I write it wrong because I write it as I pronounce it, and that's not how English works at all.
And in France, we say no one is saying it, but it's champ de bataille. It's battlefield,
Yeah,
battlefield in
exactly. It's in Spanish. It's campos de batalla. So it's champs is like Champs Élysées. Champs Élysées. It's like
yeah,
it's the
that's it.
same word that I understand. It's translatable. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So let's see. Well, right now, I don't want to stall a lot, or do we need to keep on stalling for the players
No,
to
we
arrive? I'm not sure
no,
about
no,
that because this series was
no. You were just cheating. No, we can start. We can start. We'll have
okay.
Pascoa from Brazil versus Athanas from Greece. They are from the Group C, and Pascoa is already at 2-0. As Otsuna, I have maybe some results in this group. Yeah, it's yeah. Otsuna has been beaten by Dedro, so Dedro is at 2-1 now. Otsuna 2-1 as well. Pascoa is playing tonight, and Jimon won versus Shwimu, and so he is at 1-2 and still can still think about the qualification. And we have Athanas at
Okay.
1-1.
A good update on the scoreboard of Group C. I like seeing Otsuna up there. I kind of like grew some. I don't want to say love, but I like him after I got to cast him on one of our tournaments, like the community gaming tournaments. He won the Masters Tour invite on the last one we run on August, so I was super happy for him. He was he did a quite an amazing run, and he wasn't able to win the tournament. He was the runner up, but he was lucky enough for like the winner of the tournament being already a qualified player to the next Master Tour. So
Oh,
he
good.
ended up getting the slot. So I like seeing him up there motivated and with sight on the next Master Tour that should come in 1 month, just 30 days, if I
I
don't
like.
count the days incorrectly.
Yeah, I guess. I guess. Okay, so Athanas is here, and we have his lineup is bringing a mage, a priest, a rogue, and a druid, and it's mage that has been banned. So we'll have priest and quest priest. We love the control priest. And I say we,
Interesting.
it's me. Uh,
Interesting. The super extra large mage was banned, and it's just kind of like the same big old big spell mage with Renathal and some other
mhm.
cards, but it's still succeeding.
Yeah,
I'll like to see how that quest priest works, especially against the Abyssal Imp Warlocks, the Thief Rogues. There are matchups that are like, not I want to say 50-50, but tricky at least, interesting in the decision making, and that is that's something we like to see while casting. Just not just see the play, but see the different options
yeah.
each deck has.
Yeah, you're right. And in the two last week of the Max League 6, this big spell mage won almost everything. Almost everything.
Hmm?
This version, not the spooky mage, but this one with the sorceress, the Balinda, and the friends.
Yes, yes, I agree that it's a super consistent. Well, I don't want to say super consistent, but it's a super successful deck that usually high rolls, and with Renathal it has like that buffer of 10 extra health that allows the deck to survive even when it's on arena mode, because it's just throwing minions on boards and minions until it comes at, I don't know, a box for 0 mana, or get
Mm.
Dawn Grabs to start pinging everything off. But I like the deck and how it works. It's nice to see some Rune of the Archmage going wild and giving us some good highlights.
Yeah, and I'm just checking if there is something weird in the druid, but no. No, we have a Queen Ashera. Okay, it's not in every druid. Oh,
That is
yeah,
strange.
it's the version with the giants and the battleground battlemaster. Okay, and the
Yeah,
Oracle
it
of
was
Ellen. Okay.
yes, it was a version, I think. Not sure for the Battleground Battlemaster, but for the Giants, it was brought to GM last call playoffs. It was one of the first iterations of the this giant druid, and I think it makes total sense to have a consistent finisher. And when you have 40 cards, you can just jump finishers as much as you like. Like Shaman did that. As long as you survive, you can just keep piling up win conditions there.
Yeah, and I guess we can check now the other lineups brought by Pascoa from Brazil. So the first Brazilian player won tonight. So will it be the same for the second? Is bringing an aggro druid, a big spell mage, a rogue, and an implok, I guess. Yeah, abyssal implok. The other version we can see for the warlock. So wiRer just took the aggressive version and bringing Kael'thas, Denathrius, and some few cards, few late game cards. And here it's the aggressive aggro version with the package Abyssal.
I honestly love that deck. I saw Rami going to number one legend with it, and I saw many players in Masters and even on Grandmasters playing it. And it's super complex because you have two win conditions. You can just sometimes overwhelm your opponent with early pressure, some imps, the library, and just win on that side. And then if the matchup goes long, if you're against a slow deck, you can rely on curses for dealing damage. And if you throw some chip damage on the first turns, you're halfway there already. So I like this. This approach has it's like an all terrain, despite some players don't like having a deck that does two things okay and just want a consistency of doing one thing super well. I like how this Abyssal Imp Warlock works because it's just an interesting deck to see, because you'll never see repetitive play repetitive play, because it's just different scenarios every game.
Yeah, as we could have with an evolved shaman as well. It's always a new game. You don't have the same thing as you play, as you hit the play button. You will get something brand new. Okay, I'm about to give the players the go. So we have Athanas at the bottom of your screen and Pascoa, Athanas at the top and Pascoa at the bottom. Preparing to battle a friend. It's okay. You can start. Good
So
luck.
time again to go and send your energy to the players with the commands top and bottom, depending on which one do you like. I've heard over there in chat that Athanas has the best Englando in town. I be having a competitor, so I like to see many players, and I love to see like honestly, I loved like last Lobby Legends with interview with to a non-English speaker who barely spoke English, because it's so much relatable when you see interviews that just go how like players and interviewers just do what they can. There, it's part of the fun of the game, I guess, and we don't
Yeah.
need to worry about being like a perfect broadcast. It's just being an interesting and relatable broadcast. I think is a bit better most of the time.
Yeah, and we're not judging the players on that. And I just had a message on Discord from Fred saying I can join for the interview because of my bad English, but it's no big deal.
Uh,
You could have been here.
I could have speaking on Portuguese, even though I don't know a word of Portuguese. But I know it's just don't be afraid. I've heard Fred. He does more than alright in English. So it's a shame that we didn't have him on cam for the interview for that. But on the other side, it's also respect. We want to respect players,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
if they're not comfortable, just don't push them around. Just encourage them, and if they just still don't want, we'll be still having a fine time here. And we have a match: Aggro Druid
Yeah.
against Quest Priest.
Okay.
Is this an all-in match?
Oh, I guess the Crest Priest doesn't have very many tools to remove all the board. So maybe there is something that can be done if you get wide on board.
I agree on that. And despite being cataloged as a control deck, there are little removal tools during the early game. You see, you have some taunt minions. You have Shadow War Ruin, which is 4 mana. There was Light Bomb for 6 mana, Whirlpool for 8. So those are not the answers you want to look for. And on the other side, Pascoa, you got the Peasant, which is amazing for card draw, and the Trog, which is like one of the most annoying minions to deal with if you're a spell-based class.
Yeah. And he is running one Clean the Scene, only one copy of it. Could have been relevant. And he has as well the Dragon, the Nether Drake.
That is
And-
true, and it's already
Oh,
there.
Yeah.
The problem is we need a holy spell. Okay, now
Oh,
we have a holy
okay.
spell for Athanas.
Okay.
That could be a game changer.
Yeah, it's not the
Time
same
for
game now.
Time for Pascoa to start thinking what he needs to play around and what he can afford to play around. Those are two different things, right? Sometimes you just, if you play around everything against a slow deck who has the answers, well, you might be playing effectively against the answer, but you won't be winning the game. It's a long way from 40 to 0 if you just don't ship the damage phase. It could be a problem. And let's see what Pascoa ends up doing, going for aquatic form, maybe looking for a buff, planted evidence into, I don't know, the Prize Fury.
What will it be? Oh, I can.
Blood of Sin is not a bad card.
No, not bad. Yeah, you're right.
Especially with the state of the board, it would not be hard to infuse it, like for next turn. And despite it will cost 3, it's just a new board. I like that. And this way also, it's, I don't want to say it's guaranteeing, but it's helping his board to survive at least a part of it, to survive the Nether Drake.
And here with the Nether Drake, we'll have the Crooked Crook and the Trog. Only them. And now you have to get rid of this 4/4. How can you do that? Oh, you only maybe make towns.
That is true. It's not easy for the priest to get rid of those towns. One of the priorities, I think, it could. Well, no, you cannot draw cards. You don't have buffs. That's one of the. Well, I don't want to say one of the problems because the deck is super consistent with the aquatic form and all on the carpenters. But what Pascoa needs right now is, or at least it needed even last turn, is buff effects. He has the minions. He doesn't have the buff effects. Okay, Prize Fury is already there. Now, how do you set up for that? Taunts. You remove the threat on the opponent's side to prevent them to making a good response.
Okay. You have to deal with it. Yes, like this.
You have trade. This is, on one side, it might seem vulnerable, like with caster visions through the Shadow War Ruin, but at the same time, you still will have two trucks on board. It's little, but it's something. You cannot play around everything, and playing around something, and if the opponent doesn't have it, if Athanas doesn't have a clear, you have 10 damage on board, which is amazing. So I like the play that Pascoa did this last year.
Yeah, I guess it's the first time I see this card infused.
Yeah, that is true, right? It's not a card. It's not a mainstream card, and most of the time you just draw it and play it for 1 mana from the Planet Evidence.
You have the only, I guess, spot in the game where you could play the Shadow War Ruin. Okay, for something consistent. But
yeah, I agree on that, but on the same time, here you're just trading 5 health for 2 draws, right? Because your opponent won't connect with one of the big minions. You're not eliminating one, and then next turn you can just light bomb the board away probably, and if not, you can just use the same Shadow War Ruin. So I like this approach where Athanas played the slow card first and then kept the answers in hand. Maybe next turn he could even just go away and play the Light Shower Elemental, just trying to build up pressure until he exhausts Pascoa's resources with 1 or 2 consecutive war clears.
Okay, we'll see about that, but I'm not sure about that because you let more minions on board, and you know about cards about like Herald of Nature or Pride's Fury, and you don't want to have your opponent get wide on board.
Yeah, that is true. I think maybe Athanas read that Pascoa didn't have the buffs, because if not, he would have played them before, or at least it was one of the last 1 or 2 draws. So maybe it was around that. On the other side, right now, Condemn clears a lot of the board if you combine it with the Shard of the Naru. So Athanas is not in a bad spot. If he manages to, I don't want to say clear, but at least control this board to a point in which he's not afraid of receiving the damage, he could easily take the win here. You silence the board. You only are leaving like a 3-1 and a 5-3. That's not a big pressure.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Light burns, you're killing the 5-attack minion also.
Okay.
This is just game winning for Athanas. Pascoa doesn't have a refill right now, and this is a huge problem because... Wait, what? Seeing arrows.
What is it? Yeah.
From anywhere, but I'm not sure if it's just me.
Yeah, like the same for me. No, the same for the same here. Spectator mode.
I don't believe you. I don't believe this cannot be a spectator bag.
No.
They haven't we haven't seen a spectator bag in what, like 6-7 years?
6-7 minutes.
I just misread. You're right.
No, but it's getting better and better. But maybe you have to finish this feature because ship it online.
Let's see. I'm back again. Well, and Pascoa is back again on board also.
Yeah.
The problem with this is that there's a whirlpool next turn coming. You have a light shower elemental for Athanas, so it seems rough, to be honest. You might be able to, like, each of these shower elementals represent like 14 damage. That it stops because it's 6 from the minion and 8 from the healing power.
Yeah, you're right. But now with the Athanas and the game is over with this whirlpool.
Like, what is like best scenario for Pascoa right now? Top decking the Planet Evidence into like the Druid jog box and I don't know, drawing 5 spells and creating a board and stuff, because with 1 card a turn and a hero power, he won't be making it.
Yeah, he cannot win this one. The Nether Drake on 4 made the game, I guess.
Second Light Shower Elemental.
Yeah,
I don't blame Pascoa for not resigning for this. Look at this.
Yeah.
We have Planet Evidence, and it was not impactful enough. He was needing like 5 random druid spells to bring him back into the game. It was not enough. And Athanas takes the first win with a Quest Priest without the needing of any quest at all. And even with the question, was it necessary to keep the quest, or maybe he wanted to just mulligan it away? Some players do that enough against aggressive decks.
Yeah, we saw it was on Monday the same kind of game, and the priest just got rid of the quest in starting end for the same reason. Okay, and here it is. Will it be the quest once more? Yeah, it keeps the quest. It keeps
this is a matchup that goes long, right? Because despite the initial aggression that the Imp Warlock might have, the main win conditions are the abyssal curses. So you need to plant your win conditions to try to raise them in a way of like doing your combo before your opponent, and that means having your curve, the 1, 2, 3, 4 curve. that allows you to complete the quest.
Yeah, for now he has the 2, the 3. I guess we won't see the 4 like that.
So, something that I forgot to, or I didn't mention, Pascoa went Tempo Library on 2 instead of tapping. Was that a reaction of having Tempting on hand? And having that way of drawing cards?
Yeah,
Because if not,
maybe.
it's different. It's something that is not usual on Warlocks. Also, he has a Flemish Circle, so it's a cool combo to just mega buff that Siraka cultist. Not sure what way he will do if he will go,
He's
but still,
checking
it's an
the counterspell here. And now we may have the friendly circle into
yes into
into
impending
location.
catastrophe. Oh,
Yeah,
so he could draw like 4 cards this turn.
yeah, he
This
will
is
do.
super powerful.
Yeah, and have a
The only
huge
question
minion.
is, does Pascoa go face or trades? This this is the question he needs to ask, and for answering that, he needs to answer before: am I the beatdown or am I the control deck? Which is the slower deck? Which is the which has the faster win condition? Does Pascoa need that damage on phase, or he needs to take care of the board in this initial stage?
Oh, okay. I didn't see that coming. Maybe he's afraid of Xyrella as well.
Not only Cyril, but also the eventual Visage was like 1 in 3
Mm-hmm.
for the secret to be there, and that is a pretty good punish. So I understand Pascal wanted to trade there. 8 damage, like the damage sounded appealing, but on the other side, your opponent is at like almost 30 health. You're not near of close in the game right now.
And your Imp King Rapham is already full infused.
That is true. You have also infused the mischievous imp for follow up, so you can go mischievous. You can just trade wicked shipment if you want, or even just play it.
Okay. Is it played or trade? Played.
It's played. I think it's understandable he plays it because Pascoa needs to do some space in hand. He has stamps him.
Mm-hmm.
He has the second impending catastrophe. He has also a good reason to have an imps on board with the fully infused Imp King Rafam, as you said. So I think there's all the merit on playing the 1/1s and just getting rid of some less impactful cards in hand that could be impactful on board.
Yeah. Hmm. Where are we in the quest? Okay, you want to play a turn 5, but it won't be the case here. Oh, you can have your location and draw more. Okay, you have enough ill in end, so you can do some. You can wait.
Yes, that is something that I now see, but I was tempted of just shamming the Light Shower Elemental to progress the quest.
Mm-hmm.
Athanas said, wait, I need all the healing possible in my deck. So he didn't want just to throw that away. He didn't just to being at 40 life and also being kind of dead on board with things that were there.
Yeah.
So I appreciate how he took the time to think how he should approach this stage of the game.
Yeah. I guess we see an abyssal wave here, and as you said and you mentioned before, when you play as the quest priest versus this kind of warrior bringing abyssal curse in your hand, you're not that ahead, and you want to make the quest so quickly enough to not die on Bran something turn that will kill
Exactly.
you.
That is important to manage your health total, to be away or just safe from those combo
Hmm.
stages. Now, I was thinking Pascoa would go for like a trade plus location plus Imp King Rafam. He has a different approach. I see he is going for the Grimoire Sacrifice to just clear the board and ship the most damage phase. I'll play that. It's interesting because it develops 18 power divided in like 2 stages. One that will fall to Shadow and Ruin, but the other one it won't. So your opponent either has half a clear of your board, but never like a full board cleared.
Oh, I like the play to add attack to the opponent minion and then cast Shadow Ward Ruin. I guess in the previous round, Pascoa just missed one damage phase by killing his own imp before attacking, but it's no big deal.
That imp, that imp was the one that attacked and attacked phased, and then summoned the other one. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was not green when he played the Grimoire Sacrifice.
Okay.
On the other hand, yes, I want to just say that the upgrading your opponent minions to draw cards or to put them into the range of some removals is as old as Abusive Sergeant plus Bing Game Hunter, like 2014 Hearthstone. But on the other side, you need to be aware of that. You need to know that that is a playable, that is a available play, and not just think, okay, my minions, my buffs. And it's correct for Athanas to be aware of that. And we didn't notice, and it's Athanas is 17. It has 17
already
balls.
17, yeah. And as you mentioned, this combo with the Big Game Hunter is old enough to just be known by some players like us, I guess. It was just after the beta version, I guess.
I think I believe that both cards are in standard right now. I've seen some Big Game Hunters like in some lineups a couple of weeks ago. So I don't want to say we're coming back to 2014. We're really away from that. But on the other hand, some of the important iconic combos are still alive here in our era.
And then remember about the Black Knight that will destroy the taunt minion. And as you play the Druid, you playing the 2-mana spells that give +2/+2 and taunt to a minion. Then you can kill it with Black Knight.
That is true. It's so those little combos that you could make back in the day when you didn't have discoveries, when your options were much more limited to your own deck, not just the whole card library in the game.
Yeah. Okay, thinking about light bombing this board. Okay. And maybe you have to get eye on cards in your hand to avoid being cursed too much.
That is a good consideration, and Athanas is suffering from that. And on the other hand, on top of that, Pascoa just throwed an Abyssal Wave on an empty board. Why? Because he has Lady Darkbane. This is, as you said, a lethal setup, and it's hard for Athanas to play around because he needs healing, but he needs to keep the most amount of cards in hand also to prevent new curses. And on the other hand, if he keeps the curses, it's just dead.
Yeah, you're right. I guess it's game over now. Okay, you can clean the scene, but then what? Okay, you draw once more, but you have to get rid of this too. Okay, what will it be? You can get rid of this. No, you can give it back. Give it back to the to your opponent. Yes.
Oh yeah, you can give a curse back to your opponent. Look at that.
Yeah.
I never thought about it.
You
it was
drop a card.
Also to
you drop a card.
Lady,
it can be used.
To steal Lady Darkbane on that side. It was. just less than 1 in 2. And now the question is, how much damage is like 3 damage for next turn, and Athanas cannot receive more of, or at least further curses this turn. So what do you
Yep.
do on Pascoa's side? You just hero power
Hmm.
and see what happens?
I guess you don't have. Well, yeah, you have to draw. You have to draw now. You want at least one more option to consider, and maybe you will drag below on the 5/4 just to feed your Lady Darkvein.
Hmm. Yeah, it could work. Like Dark Rane is already storing an abyssal wave inside. I'm not sure if. Whoa.
Okay, but you're very very
This is.
fragile to the silence here.
Well, that is true. I didn't realize that silence was a card, but on the other hand, this has put some pressure.
Yeah.
You force your opponent to have answers at least. It's not just a stalemate in which you lost the turn. You develop something. It's a board that represents, besides the curses, 7 damage. So Athanas needs to silence and then solve it. What's the way?
And Bran just showed up. And with that cool, maybe there is something lethal can be done. But now it's Athanas' turn. Is trying maybe to have to find a good secret from a sketchy stranger. Oh no,
No,
it's
he's
a
going for
Cinderella.
clear with Cirella. He could play the sketchy because it's a card that replaces itself, so it's not the, like creating board like card space in hand for more curses. But it's not a comfortable situation for Athanas. As you said, Sakul plus Brian could give 2 more curses. We have Abyssal Wave for 1 more curse. This Athanas has space for 2. This is not lethal yet, but we're getting close, so the Greek player needs to be worried about what will happen next.
Okay. 2 more, and do you overdraw? I guess you overdraw.
My hand is full.
Yes, and this creates a huge problem for Athanas. You need to get rid of your curses. If you get rid of your curses, you open space in hand. Also, you spend 4 mana. You need to heal yourself. You need to clear the board. How do you do everything at once? What is the answer? Like, you could play Cirella and hero power yourself. Like, that will get you up to 18. And you're receiving 11 damage, so 1 more curse would kill you. Oh, well, no, well, this... Does this Cirella draw? No, he hasn't played the
no, I don't think so.
The draws. Because if this Cirella draw, or if this Cirella drew, I mean, it could mean like the answer, because Athanas will have the full hand and not and will be alive at 7 health. But uncomfortable situation for Athanas.
Yeah, you have to get rid of this Bran as well. Okay, oh, he's playing the curse and making a room. Okay, how many cards? 9 cards, so 1 curse can be added.
So, yes, it's a one-off, I think, because it's 5 from the curse he has in hand, 7 from the next one, so it will be 12. Wow, Athanas is working his way. How many curses are there left for Pascoa? He played 2 Abyssal Waves. He played Sakul already. Lady Darkbane. Has Pascoa played both cultists?
I guess only once.
Only one, and then well, the other copy also of Drag Below. I think it's pending.
Hmm. Oh,
Oh, and look at this. This is a huge draw. Tamsin, we're talking about Pascoa going low on curses. Tamsin for the rescue right now. This
okay, throwing.
way, Pascoa can double his.
Thank you for your
Okay,
service.
doesn't take any risk here. He's right.
Yes, and he develops. This is another way of setting up lethal. I talked a lot about the curses, but board. This deck can deliver damage on board.
Yeah,
He has the library in hand that will just represent much more than those 7. It will go up to 10. And then
as you mentioned
Pascoa could
before,
even ship a curse.
the deck doesn't do only one thing, but is relevant on both compartments of the games, the board and the spells. So, what
Yeah.
is it here?
Thinking again about.
Oh, this one is not bad.
Ooh, that is huge. I mean, it's 7 health. You go up to 15.
Oh,
No, you're dead in anyway. It's 2 slots in hand for Athanas. Spirit Guide in hand. This is just lethal with Tamsin. This time Pascoa won't miss it. Double Navis away for 2 curses in hand for Athanas, and this is game.
if he
And
has,
1-1 for
if he
Pascoa.
has
How many
room,
imps are we gonna draw?
Okay. First abyssal wave, second one, and dealing 7 and then 8. And we are at 1-1 now. And the priest is gone. Too bad.
The priest is gone. They deleted priest, Max. How dare they? How
Yeah.
they dare?
Wait, yeah, with a warlock. It's a demon. So
Exactly.
we have to do something about
Exactly.
that. And as Athanas, oh, will you get rid of the demon? The druid, maybe?
The druid
the
for
rogue.
Athanas, let me check. It was going the rogue.
The rogue?
Well,
The rogue could be quick enough.
the demon hunter. Oh wait, is that a class even? Yeah, the rogue has one advantage is that warlocks removal are based on damage, so sometimes bank cleaves or the ghosts from the locations can go outside the range of a couple of spells from the warlock. So that way, it might work for Athanas. On the other hand, Pascoa has a kind of like a premium Su hand. It's Flame Imp turn 1, Wicked Shipment or Library turn 2. It's looking good for the Brazilian player.
Okay, he prefers to trade his cutlass instead of trading this flame imp. We'll see if it's relevant.
Yeah, I agree. This time, Athanas needs to discount his nulls. He has one in hand and the Shroud of Concealment for drawing it on next turn. I'm tempted to just greed the thing out and not play anything. I understand it's dangerous, but you could do a huge Draka next turn.
Yeah,
if you
you're
just
right.
trade your one card and just wait. You have the nulls, you have the coin, the possibility of using the Door of Shadows and also the Serrated Bone Spike. But well, tempo now better than tempo later for Athanas, and I understand that too.
Oh, is rewarded by an Edwin. Okay.
Curious about
He
this.
could have played the other gnoll first to have the second
Yeah.
one. Oh, I don't remember the word in English.
Yeah, on stealth. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
stealth.
agree. Like, I mean, there's not much of a difference because the Warlock won't be dealing like 5 damage on turn 3. But minor order rule there for Athanas. We'll let the chat decide if it was an order rule or there was something behind it. Turn for Pascoa to think about what he will do. He can go Wicked Shipment and Touch of the Narassim, buffing one of the imps, but it sounds like too little for this board.
Yeah, I guess we'll see tap into Touch of the Northern. I see. Don't remember that. Don't forget that Pascoa it's already at 2-0 in this group C of the Max League 6, and Athanas 1-1. It's important. Okay.
Trying to keep the board in check, trying to avoid excessive pressure from the rogue, knowing that maybe the damage can be delivered from hand, and also setting up a mischievous imp infused with like developing 9 health and an attack on board. That could be a lot. That could mean a lot to stabilize in this side.
Yeah, you're right. It's interesting the way he played it with this infused minion waiting in the end. Okay, is it
time
now?
for Bancliff? Is it time for Draka? I think it's time for Draka, right?
I like it
Like
with
Athena has like
everything we
half a
see.
dozen cards. It's going for Bancliff?
Okay.
What? I don't mind, but I mean, okay. I was tempted
Yeah.
to go Draka first and then draw the whole deck.
Yeah,
But
I agree. And it's not
this way
very
is-
good
is-
Edwin here.
you could try to dive into a second preparation or shadow or shadow
Yeah.
step.
Okay. Pascoa is running out of response here. I think you're very
Yes, but at the
relevant.
same-
Oh, this one is good.
At the same time, there are not many threats he needs
No.
to face. Like once Van Cleef is gone, like the draw engine from the rogue, it's gone. Well, they can dredge, they can draw, but just one card at a time and not as impactful as it would be. Like, you know that Draka is not online yet, and your opponent has only 3 cards, so it wouldn't be a threatening weapon. I wonder why was Athanas course of action there, just throwing Bank Leaf before Draka.
Okay. You can do
Wow, time
something.
to go
Yeah.
all in.
Yeah, you want. You want to do that.
You just prep a Wicked Stab, prep a Tooth of the Nefarian,
Yeah.
play Draka, Sandal Face, and just Prage.
If you don't do that, you don't play Rogue. Okay, he does. He does.
I mean, the problem with just any other play is that it's too middle ground. And you don't have any draw in hand. If you don't take this win of opportunity, you might as well not win the game.
Yeah,
This is
it's
just-
now or never.
Okay, send everything face and just set myself to be lucky. It's
Yeah,
a huge amount of damage. It's setting up lethal. You know? What
It's
else can you do? What better can you do?
It's what the deck is supposed to be. So do it. Okay.
Abyssal
And,
Wave is not
it's
an option
game.
because he'll be dead. Isn't there a way for with a buy library to buff an imp enough to kill Edwin and with the other ones bump into Draka and use the touch of the Narrasim that will set up? Oh no, that will set up to 6
Yeah.
health. He's dead.
Yeah, because of the weapon at 6.
And despite Athanas just having that mild bank leaf. A 5/5 is not a bank leaf you see every day. It's just at least a 7/7 or more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Athanas is able to deliver. I'm thinking,
Okay.
what outs could Pascoa get, like, from tapping? And I don't see it.
No, it's not.
Like, because
Oh,
even taps
maybe.
him, like, if Pascoa draw Tamsin there, well, that could be enough to
No, it's not playing any taunt
survive.
minions.
But this is like, oh no, this is one off. Like, touching everything is 2 damage, 3 health. So
Oh, it's
enough.
3. Okay, it's not 2. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But I mean, are you a rogue player if you don't top like the damage you're missing?
This one is not very good. Yeah, the shadow step. But you have one more stack in your weapon. Your opponent cannot tap.
Dredge
And
below.
you
This
win.
is game. It was just a matter of time. Athanas closes it and gets rid of Pascoa's warlock. Time.
Yeah, the demon has been beaten. Back to
Time
L.
for Pascoa's priest, maybe.
It's not a mage. Maybe I have to check.
Oh, it's a mage. No, I was just seeing the wrong deck list.
problem.
You're right.
You asked for it.
It's the mage, the big spell mage. Okay, it can be relevant if you draw the good parts of your combo versus this rogue running many 0 mana cards.
Yes, the only thing is, like, you cannot go all in for Belinda or the sorceress in this matchup, because if not, the rogue will just send enough pressure to just kill you on board. So you need to balance your mulligan to say, well, I'm keeping these cards for tempo and I'm hoping to draw those cards for payoff.
Mm.
And I'm not sure if you wanna, if which 2-drop do you want? Like, you don't wanna give your opponent coins, but on the other hand, you need something that attacks. Just a watch post isn't gonna cut it.
Okay, and the Gnoll still in starting end.
Bankleaf a huge card for any deck. I mean, because or I mean, for any matchup, it's good enough to make sure that you won't ever run out of steam while pressuring. So I guess it's important. Is there a reason not to trade the weapon?
Hmm.
Not sure, because if
my-
Athanas traded the weapon, he would have.
If you hit a neutral card, you cannot play the Gnoll, I guess. But I'm not sure
Yeah,
it's
but what
running
neutral
any.
cards that he had?
I'm checking.
None.
Okay, so so that's it.
That was why I was wondering, why not discounting the null? Why keeping the card? May perhaps, well, if you have Bank Thief and Draka, that might be a problem, but not sure.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Snack on far watch post for Pascoa, trying to delay. He has in hand already the Deepwalker Evoker for drawing the spell and the Barbaric Sorceress for altering the cost of the spell. On the other hand, Athanas has only spells in hand, mostly, like, besides the one copy of the weapon and Bank Thief. It's just full spells, and this is kind of a problem for Athanas, because he wants to get rid of as many spells as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was there an order one? Didn't you want to play the coin before the prep? So
Yeah.
worst case scenario, you could play the cards you had in hand.
Yeah, I like the play coin before the preparation. You're right. And Pascoa is
And now it's
go.
no, sorry. Now it's a point that Pascoa needs to decide if he wants to progress his own game plan with the Deepwalker Evoker and setting up the Barbaric Sorcerers, or just take an action, direct action on board. He goes for the Reckless Apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
I think now you have the possibility. It's not wrong to deal with a super favorable trade there.
And so we have the Pascoa running the light version of the Big Spell Mage with only 30 cards, and it's
that is
quite
true.
the same at we had, I guess, 1 month ago, maybe 2 months ago.
Before the expansion, actually.
Yeah, you're right. You're
It's
right,
just
and
they put
still
the
working
locations
very
in
well.
and nothing more.
Okay, so you could
This needs to be
Mabel
a
Dancer,
Blackwalker
but
Evoker turn.
you have to, yeah, you have to get your eye spell in hand. So first, as part of the combo,
How
but
many?
10
How many?
cards here.
Yeah, how many of those spells can Athanas play? That's the question. The problem is he keeps drawing spells, and he has spells that draw more spells. But
Oh,
if
the
he
Shadow Step
manages
is
to,
not that bad
yeah.
here.
I was thinking about also like the possibility of playing locations. So there's a good chance Athanas can present at least a threatening board for that barbaric sorceress not to be as impactful.
Okay, thinking. 3 mana left. A
You can
coin
go
left.
backstab the bones to regenerate some mana
This one
here.
is good, yeah.
Play the location, maybe coin the second location.
Yeah, good.
And at
A good
least
turn.
this is a nice turn in both sides, because not only he's developing like 18 stats while removing, but he played a bunch of cheat spells, so maybe he baits Pascoa out of playing the barbaric swords as well. I didn't finish asking that Pascoa just jammed the barbaric sources, because I mean it also has some merit on having taunt. So worst case scenario, you're just containing a damage not going phase. So that's one thing.
Okay. You go for the Edwin here. 5 mana. Oh yes, that's the one you want to draw.
You can play that, and
on this.
I was thinking,
the
on
one.
the Deepwalker Evoker to enable the the serrated bone spikes, because I think this is a Draka turn, and if you nail a Draka turn here, you might be winning, because this means that you're able to ship at least 13 damage phase and create like a reasonable board. Well, he diverts from there, but he's creating a super huge Van Cleave.
Okay. Okay, this one is playable
he
as
can
well.
play the serrated bone spikes before to make it cheaper if he wants it.
Oh.
Shadow Step for the no for making Van Cleave bigger and bigger, or maybe just keep it in hand because a 15-15 is just good enough. And which dragons are we banking on? Sleepy dragons, are they enough?
You want a dragon with poisonous and rush, yeah. But I don't see any.
And a cleave effect, right? So so it damages just the minions. It's hard because you can freeze one character, but there are like 3 more that will hit you in the face.
Yes. What should it be? There's nothing to cast with the parrot yet, so you have to run for it. And if it's not relevant, it's a 3-1 for Athanas.
With some taunts or with one taunt, like you have the Primordial Drake there and Amplified Snowfire, he can freeze the Van Cleave and just only received 13. Oh, it's 10?
Yeah, 13.
13
and 4.
Be alive, quote unquote, if there's no damage, but we know
Yeah.
rogues always have the damage. This will be game for Athanas.
That's it, you're right.
He's
Okay, you can
maximizing the damage.
You can do it like this.
With the serrated bone pikes, yep. It's just a lot of arrow pointing space, infinite damage for Athanas, winning 3-1 as you mentioned. The Rogue taking 2 games in a row and taking the series. Athanas now breathes with a victory under his arm.
Okay, I'm asking the players for an interview. Thanks for the games. Are you okay for a little interview on Discord?
Thank you for everyone who joined us for this broadcast. We're gonna have a little interview with the players after the match. We're setting that up, and we wanted to thank for all the chatters that are participating, cheering for your favorite players, and also watching the broadcast. This is round 3 of the second stage, so make sure you tune in and you just activate the notification bell, because there will be a lot more broadcasts in this channel featuring the best players around the world. We have seen like World Qualifiers. Pascoa is playing Worlds on December. Mighty is also playing Worlds. There are a lot of players that will be on the highest Hearthstone tournament that there will be, and they are all here in this Max Team TV channel.
Yeah, thank you. So we'll have Athanas on the here with us. Do you hear us, Athanas?
Hello.
Ah, yes, you're here. Fine. How was the game? Well, are you happy about the result?
Of course. It went pretty good.
Yeah. GG for this and for this very powerful rogue that you brought.
Yes, last week I got 3-0 by this rogue, and I decided to ban this time.
Good. Good decision. Okay, yes. So now you are a 2-1, I guess, in this Max League 6 Group C. You're in the Group C. I'm entering your win just right now with this 3-1, and I will update the ranking. Just compiling. Go. Thank you. So you do not know, but Dead Draw managed to win versus Otsuna. So it's a 2-1, Otsuna 2-1, you are 2-1, Pascoa is a 2-1, Jinon is a 1-2, and Shwemu 0-3. So it's a very stacked group.
Very close. We will find out next week.
Yeah, next week it will be the round 4 penultimate round for this main stage.
Are you hoping to, or are you expecting nerfs? Do you want the nerfs to happen before an important round, as this is the next one that could end up with you qualifying to the next stage, or is it something that you'd rather stay with a meta that is not the best one, but at least it's a meta that you know?
I prefer the second, to be honest, but this meta, I don't like this meta too much. For example, I haven't played. I used my decks from previous week because I didn't play much the previous days.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm anticipating the nerfs, the new patch note, but we will never. We don't know when it will come out.
Yeah, I'm planning to have them tomorrow, but not sure.
Exactly.
It's Mac's call. He's trying to just adjust the last part, but yeah, I agree with you, and it's the general sentiment, Athanas, about the meta not being the best. Like we interviewed wiRer bit earlier, and he said, "Yeah, I spent last week playing Battlegrounds. I just asked Fear Hunter for a lineup, and I just cannot stand this meta. I just." Try. It was just having fun elsewhere, and that's understandable. And that's like the duality of like, well, you don't like this metagame, but if it changes, you need to like put on the hours and the practice for creating a new lineup or adjusting the decks you have. But on the other side, you do that with some, or at least expecting with some joy, because it's not just the same all three decks that we've been playing for at least like 6 weeks for now.
Yes, the problem is when you have a new patch or a mini set and you have a tournament in the next 2 days. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I believe if you have half a week, it's fine. You have a sense of the meta after 3-4 days.
Yeah. And some most of the time,
that is true, huh?
you have the information only 2 days before it. That's okay. You prepared yourself, and now surprise, there is a new card, and bring you to 40 health and 40 cards in your deck. What do you say?
Yeah, that was a huge game changer last Master Tour. Master Tour 5, I mean.
Yeah.
Yes. Last Master Tour, you had time though. You had around 10 days. If I remember correctly.
Yes, I think it was Master Tour number 4 that Renathal was released like 2 days before the event, because the Master Tour number 5 was after the expansion. Now that I recall, and Master Tour 4 was before the expansion, but with the free legend that we usually get. Like last time it was Okani, and it was you test Okani if it works or not. But this time was Renathal, and Renathal is a game changer to the point that like almost every competitive deck is bringing it, because it's a huge difference bringing 10 extra cards or not, and that is like kind of like it was kind of like a problem at that time, I remember. And I hope this time we get not only the patch notes in time, but time to adjust for tournaments, for third party organizers that don't have the best time when we get a patch every other week.
Yeah, because it's only a matter of communication. You just tell it to the players few days ago what will happen, and then they can prepare themselves, because they earn time their own time to play the game on a competitive way, and they have to be respected. I don't do it the competitive way, but I know that I could not stand this. You play 20 hours a day to get your lineup, and then it's over.
On a more positive side, which was the match that you enjoyed the most here? Because we see the high roll on the last one with the Rogue. The previous one was a lot closer, right? Against the Imp Warlock, the Imp Abyss Warlock.
Yes, it was pretty close. I had a good start, to be honest. I don't know if I played perfectly my curve. I was still thinking about the location. I miscounted the location, to be honest. I thought that if he buff it, the aim will go 5-4 next turn, and I want to kill it that turn. But overall, I think it's a good matchup for Rogue versus Warlock. That's why I killed the Rogue against it.
A lot of damage output to just overwhelm me. Yeah, I agree with your take. I was just wondering why you prioritize Bank Cleave when you have less mana instead of going for Draka. But I understand that you got the resources for then having a better Draka, so it evened out in the end.
Yeah, I played Cliff, I think 10-4, if I'm not mistaken, or 10-5.
Yeah.
Because I knew that he could not remove it if Cliff had 5 health.
Super
And
interesting.
then
That's
I
right.
I had time to find the shadow step and roll with my deck.
That's a